Should Ruben Amorim allow Paul Pogba to return to Carrington and train with the senior team early next year when he's allowed to start training with the club? That's a conversation making rounds all over social media, and I've read several comments from people, some backing the return of our own, others saying there is no room for Paul Pogba. He should not even step close to Manchester United. What do you think? Drop down a comment and let me know your honest opinion about this developing possible return of someone, I would say, hero turned villain in a way, I would say. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. My name is Webb. Like, share, and subscribe. This is the United Hot Sport. I'm here to give you my 2 cents about the whole Pogba talk going on. Now, there is a big chance, at least from the reports we are getting, that Paul Pogba could return and start training at Carrington, and certain reports claiming that Ruben Amorim would allow him to return and train with the senior team. And this is, of course, after him serving his ban, and now he's back training on his own in Miami, in the United States. He's expected next year in March to be able to play for a club. We are yet to know which club because his previous club has terminated his contract. They have parted ways with Juventus, and meaning now he's clubless. And when he returns, he first has to be able to train from January. He should be able to train January 2025, train with a team. Then in March, he can be open to playing matches, to playing competitive games with the team. So the race for him now is to stay fit and attract a club that can accommodate him, trust him, and say, "We've seen you. We know what you can do. You're a World Cup winner. You're a top bowler. You're loved. Come and play for us." And these are some of the comments I've seen from Man United supporters all over. There's so many social media platforms he's been trending, saying, Pogba is dead wood. He can't step at Man United. We are, rebuilding a club. We want to move forward. We can't allow we can't keep allowing such players to come in and go. Of course, reflecting on Johnny Evans, who came in also from Leicester City out of a club, wanted to stay fit, goes back to his boyhood club. They allow him to train with Eric Ten Hag and the team. He's impressed, says, "Come, join us for the preseason." And from the preseason, he was player at a time when United was suffering with a lot of injuries. And guess where we are now? 2 years later, he's still contracted at Man United and playing important games for the club. And we love Johnny Evans, don't we? Now, people are saying they don't want the same to happen because we've got a new manager, so many good young kids, and they feel Paul Pogba's return to training at Carrington might actually attract Ruben Amorim to want to include him in the squad, which people don't want to see. Now, this is my 2 cents about this, guys, and I I wouldn't really want Paul Pogba to return and be playing for the Man United senior team. But Paul Pogba should be allowed to train with Manchester United if that's what he needs to revamp his career. Pogba will be turning 32 at the same month when he's allowed to play competitive football again in March next year. And we know the quality of Paul Pogba. I think he's the closest to Paul Scholes that Man United has had during the lowest of lows after during Pogba to when he returned for those 7 years from 2016 to 2022 when he returned to Manchester United. Is it about 6 years? During those years, at some point, Paul Pogba, David De Gea, and Zlatan Ibrahimovic were the only good thing about Manchester United. There is a period where Paul Pogba was the only one looking decent among the so many terrible players we had during our struggles. The Jose Mourinho season, I think the season, a bit of some seasons after that, Paul Pogba at some point was one of the only joy you would want to watch in Manchester United. Now we're in the habit as a club of giving up on our own when they need us, and Mason Greenwood as an example. When the whole world turned against Mason Greenwood for whatever he could have done to the girlfriend with whom they reconciled and up to now are together, Manchester United supporters were the first to come up in arms and say this kid should not step back at our club. We are talking of a kid who is born in Manchester, grew up at Manchester United. From when he was a baby, the only place he knew was Manchester United. Of course, does some wrong stuff, misbehaves like all kids in the world, needs the support because the whole world was turning against him. He thought maybe his own club would come in and try to protect him. They gave up on him. They surrendered him to the pythons to prey on him. Now, Paul Pogba, listen, Paul Pogba is a product of the Man United Academy. From 2009 to 2011, he was in the academy goes into the senior team for a year, 2012. Then Man United sells him to Juventus, plays very good football at Juventus. We buy him back to Manchester United, plays about 6 or 7 years at Man United again. Then we sell him to Juventus again. Juventus, after the issues he got, they terminate his contract. He's clubless now, but he needs to stay fit. Now, the only two clubs Paul Pogba knows in his entire life are Manchester United and Juventus. He was at Manchester United twice. I'm telling you, Juventus have terminated his contract. So he's there. Where should he go? Where should he go? He has already suffered his depression, probably, all this period when he was not playing football. He's been depressed. He's been frustrated. If he wants, he needs support to stay to be fit. He's not saying, Man United, give me a contract. No, he's just saying, guys, you are my boyhood club. I'm trying to stay fit and save my career and rejuvenate my career. Allow me to come and train in your facilities to be fit. Honestly, are we again going to close the doors of Carrington on our own? Is that who we are as Manchester United? I don't think so. That's not the club I signed up for. We got it wrong with Mason Greenwood. We cannot get it wrong again with Paul Pogba. If indeed it is true that Pogba would love to get facilities, the facility, to use the facilities at Carrington to train and come back fit again, to attract a club that could give him a contract, I think we should be more than glad to do that for our own. Paul Pogba is our own. He's our boy. Imagine if Marcus Rashford gets some ordeal, some issues, later on, and maybe leaves Man United like we all hope he does, gets issues wherever he goes, and he needs support, to be training at a club where he needs an open door, open arms around him, people to embrace him and just hug him and tell him it's okay, you can restart again, da, 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 and we close the door on him. How would that feel? Is that who we are as a club? I don't think so. So for me, it's just, the guy is just saying, I just want to use these facilities to be fit. The fact that Johnny Evans returned to use the facilities and was later signed, I don't think there is anything wrong with Paul Pogba doing. Again, if Paul Pogba impresses the manager and he feels he can make contribution to the team, it's okay. Isn't that what we want at the end of the day? We want the best players for the manager available. Aren't we all appreciative of the contribution that Johnny Evans has made to Man United for the 2 years he returned miraculously? I think we all are. So for me, I think Man United supporters, we've got to be real at times, we've got to be human at times. Otherwise, we are lately in the habit of pretending like we don't care about the same people we made. We just give up on them, turn our backs on them when they need us. That's not who we are. That's not how we want to brand ourselves. It never ends well if you behave like that. We don't want to be those kinds of people. So for me, I have no issues with seeing Paul Pogba training at Carrington. Of course, there should be rules of engagement. When he returns, because of the issues he endured, of course, he gave his side of the story, and even his ban was reduced. Probably he was right if the drugs he took were not intentional and stuff. His story should even be a lesson to the young players. He should be there telling these young players, be careful what you drink, be careful who you trust, be careful how you behave, because Paul Pogba is a living example of a star. Because in terms of stardom, by the way, potential stardom, Paul Pogba for me is up there among like the top 5 potentially biggest stars in sport. Top 5. He could have been biggest star as after of course Cristiano Ronaldo, who is a mega star, a mega superstar when it comes to sport. I'm not talking in terms of talent, but I'm talking in terms of the brand of the person. Paul Pogba is second is among the guys following Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo is miles ahead of everyone, but Paul Pogba is up there with the brands of the likes of Neymar, the brands of the likes of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, brands like a bit of Ronaldinho back then, guys who have huge brands that people love, people associate, they sell. They are selling personalities. Paul Pogba was that. We're not sure now whether he would still attract that form of attention around him, but he was that potential star. But also, he was an extremely talented footballer. Kylian Mbappe said it in France that he had to adjust his game when they lost Paul Pogba, because all he needed to do when Pogba was in the team, whenever he saw Pogba with the ball, he would just start running and Pogba would locate him. The same thing Ruud van Nistelrooy said of Paul Scholes. Whenever they played together, all he had to do was to just make his run, and somehow Paul Scholes would locate him. That's why I said at Man United, Paul Pogba was the closest we had to Paul Scholes. You saw how he used to pick up Zlatan Ibrahimovic from wherever, from as deep as the ocean. He would just see the run from Zlatan and pick him up wherever he was. That is Paul Pogba for you. He's a special player. Things go wrong for all of us in life, but it doesn't mean that our people, our family, should always close the door on us. So, guys, let us be open-minded about the possible return of Paul Pogba. So I am for Pogba too, of course, to train. Guys, it's to train, not to play. To train. If he impresses Ruben Amorim, I trust Amorim that would make it and say, it's okay, come back and play here for a year or two and move on. But we can start with allowing him to come back and regain his fitness. My name is Webb. Give me your 2 cents down there in the comment section.